What is up, guys? Welcome back from New York City, where we're currently covering the WCS America Challenger League. I'm Axel Toss, joined by Axlab, and we're into match 4, the last match of the night. Again, Challenger League is all this week, Monday through Thursday, so be sure to tune in at 6 p.m. Eastern each day to watch this awesome STARCRAFT action between so many different players across the board. Like, you're not just going to see Koreans, you're not just going to see Americans. There are players from everywhere, different storylines, all participating in this challenger.
A lot of great players here. Of course, before we jump into our next match, I remind you guys, if you're interested in working in esports or game design industry, of course, check out Full Sail University. Go to www.fullsail.edu/MLG, and they can give you more information on their programs in 3D animation, video production, audio engineering, game design, all these cool different programs that will help you get a leg up and getting that career in the game design or esports industry.
Yeah, Full Sail, of course, is the official education partner of MLG. By the way, let's go ahead and recap what has happened so far today before we get to our last match, which is going to be Vibe versus Sage. I'm super excited for this one. Of course, we started out with Theognis taking the 2-0 over J-Dog. A lot of people might be surprised to see that. Major taking the 2-0 over Xeno Cider. Phoenix, the 2-1 over Bales. And now we enter our final match of the night. Where I think that, this might be the best shot for a qualifying player, or a player who came through qualifiers to take out a guy who came from the Premier League. I thought J-Dog would do it over Theognis, but Theognis proved me wrong. Will Vibe prove me wrong? That's the question.
I think, I feel like Vibe's going to be a great pick here as well. He's so experienced as far as just competing in basically international tournaments everywhere. He's won last year's WCS United States tournament, and of course globally he played very well as well. But we're gonna of course see how he does up against Sage. I think both the players are ready.
Okay.
So should we get this game started?
I'm gonna say ready. Vibe has confirmed he is ready, and Sage has as well. Sage is one of those players. Of course, he came from. I never know how to say that. NH Hoseo? Did I do that right?
Yeah. Or Neostar Hoseo.
Neostar Hoseo, sure.
Yeah. If you're going to abbreviate two of the words, not
right.
abbreviate them all. Or
sure. There are exceptions in the world.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, Sage coming over to Root, and he is a very funny guy. He knows a good amount of English as well. We were actually talking a little bit in the chat before the game, and he was giving me some relationship advice to Vibe, which is fine. It was pretty funny. But now here we are into the last match. Sage again, one of those Korean players that you should never really count out. A very strong Protoss player.
That's right. And this is a map where I feel like Korean Protosses do very well on this map.
Yeah.
Against Zerg. And one of the tricky parts is, well, you know what? We'll talk about it after getting it. First, let me say, the Protoss guy we're talking about right now, from Team Root, the blue Protoss at the bottom left, we have Sage. And his teammate, last year's WCS USA champion, and second place in WCS North America. We have also from Team Root, Vibe.
Yep. Team kill here. Of course, a glass half full kind of guy would say, well, one Root player will make it to the next round.
You know what? Sage is paranoid here, man. He delayed pro production for a second to get a Forge on 12. And double scouting.
And yeah.
I mean, double scouting's pretty standard on Whirlwind if you don't want to take a risk. Just so, the Zerg goes early pool. And for example, a Sage didn't double scout. If I was at the bottom right going early pool, he wouldn't see the Zerglings until they hit his base. Because you don't scout the third location in time. So the double scout will let you see the Zerglings as they leave the Zerg base, which gives you an additional about 20 seconds or so to react. Which 20 seconds is life or death against an early spawning pool. Oh, is he going to... Using a 12 Forge. Oh, but Vibe's Overlord. I think he sees it.
He does.
Vibe needs to... I would send an additional drone. Or... You know what I would... This is tricky here. This is tricky.
They could all be canceled.
They can be. Some Zerg try to pull a lot of probes, and sometimes you can break it. But I actually almost just like saying whatever and just giving up that, especially on Whirlwind, you can just give up that hatchery and take other ones. There's so many bases here.
Might be exactly what he's going to do here.
It depends how much the Protoss commits. The thing is that the Protoss only has one cannon. You can actually just let the cannon shoot the hatchery for a while. But usually if the hatchery finishes, the Protoss will build additional cannons.
And the probe is oh, just going to cancel the hatchery.
He does want to let the one cannon finish, though, because it'll protect the pylons for a while, and you don't want to lose all those pylons. Oh, and he pylon blocked that hatchery location, but another hatchery on the right side.
Yeah.
So going forward, here's the interesting situation. The way this play works out, macro-wise, actually Vibe is slightly ahead than he would be in a standard game. Because normally the Protoss Nexus is more ahead of the Zerg hatcheries than it is here. And also, you're kind of delaying both the hatcheries and a Nexus, but the Zerg will have the injects. But positionally wise, the Zerg's in a really rough position with that cannon kind of behind a natural. But this is a crazy game.
This is definitely not a normal game.
This is crazy, and this proxy hatchery can be very annoying. There's no Roach War, no gas at all. So he could just build Zerglings and Queens. He could just try to force out some extra cannons from the Protoss, slow the Protoss tech down. If he can slow the Psy-Core down, that can help. A single cannon is actually great. You can actually kill larvae very fast with a cannon. You target those larvae very quickly. I don't know if Vibe's going to let that... I think he's going to let the hatchery finish. I feel like he is, but...
Note the timing of the cannon. Those of you at home, making it so that if the hatchery does cancel, you have the option to cancel your cannon.
And you would take that option, of course.
Yeah. Which is true.
Yeah, so not really working out for Vibe. That cost him more than it cost Sage. But still, Vibe has the 3 bases, and... Oh, Sage trying to cannon rush another one of Vibe's bases here. Wow.
What if they did this in practice?
Sage is... This is how they practice every game. It's just cannon rushing each other.
Like, they know exactly how to react to all these situations.
You know, I feel like this next cannon rush is probably not going to work because the hatchery will finish and the Zerglings will come back in time to cancel these cannons. Like, he sees him right now, right? So the Zerglings are just going to walk up there and kill them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Zell is too far away. 4 Zerglings should take out both those without too much of a problem.
Yeah.
Although, if he doesn't make the Queen of more Zerglings, the Zell can get in there and build some...
Oh, not even a cancel on that cannon.
Mistimed the cannons. It was about 5 seconds earlier, and
yeah.
It actually would have been a different game.
Zell gonna try to be a hero here. And we have a Roach Warren just now started. 2 Lings on the way from Vibe, also speed beginning. But I think, you know, it's a bunch of interesting trades. Of course, we had the hatchery being a little bit bad for Vibe.
Yes.
But then we had that cannon not get canceled.
And Vibe is actually talking about worker count. He's slightly ahead than we've seen in normal ZBT. He's normally at this point that they're even in workers, but in this case, Vibe's actually ahead in workers. But of course, this pressure is going to be very annoying. And going forward, trying to defend all 3 of these bases is going to be very awkward for Vibe.
Is he going to make a bunch of roaches here?
He's probably going to make about 4.
Because he just made 3 overlords and he's at 51 out of 70.
Wow, he might make more. Is he actually just going to do a very...
Like a bunch of Lings too, I guess?
He's making 7 roaches, and you know he's only at 43 drones, so he's making these very early.
7 roaches.
He might do an all-in, but I don't see this all-in working. Like,
Let's see what defense is.
It should be. I mean, he can just, as long as he sees it coming, which he will. With if not the Stalker, he'll see with the Phoenix. I think
I would
Vibe
hide
feels
the roaches
he's.
and just send like 5 speedlings after that Stalker.
That's exactly what he's gonna do, and that's, you know what, if he can actually.
Oh, we saw 2 of the roaches.
And he also had a Zealot in the main that saw 2 gases this early, so I don't know. He might be confused. This game's been so weird. Okay, he's Chrono Boost down to Void Ray. Yeah, as long as he makes a Void Ray, I don't see this
There's
attack.
the second cannon.
I don't feel Vibe needs to do this. He was in a decent position macro-wise. It's awkward to play from here, but I don't see this ever working. Maybe if he can somehow kill the Psy-Core before Warp Gate finishes, he can macro out of this.
You can target
the pylon!
That's a very lonely pylon here.
There's only one. What? There's only one more pylon there.
And he can target it down. Oh my god,
Void Ray's on
is
power
not done. The Void Ray. Oh gosh, this is what not to do.
Oh my.
Target the pylon. You got to target that pylon.
Yeah.
He's going to do it.
He targeted a little bit late, but I mean, they killing that first pylon slowed just enough. I think it actually. This is insane. Is he going to do enough damage?
All right, Void Ray is going to get out, but more Lings, more Roaches coming forward. Remember, Warp Gate just now finishing, but there's no sentries here to stop the flood of the Swarm. And Vibe is inside his opponent's natural expansion. There's the GG.
Wow, I spoke way too soon.
How unexpected was that?
I was like, there's no way it's going to work. He's got 2 cannons, he's got force fields. But then he made the same mistake I did. I think he's like, oh, this defend is easy. Void Ray will come out.
Yeah.
Let's keep force filling the hole. And then the Void Ray can focus down the Roaches. And then the pylon died. Everything became unpowered. And then once everything was unpowered, by the time next pylon got up, both the cannons were almost dead. Both the sentries were dead, which is very important.
Yes.
And the Void Ray was delayed by about 30 seconds. And that's such a huge difference. And killing the sentries meant that there wasn't that third force field in the wall. Because the first sentry actually would have had the energy by then.
Right.
And then once everything spews in, it's like, there's no hope.
You got to cover your bases. You always got to add that tasteless pylon to cover the Artosis pylon.
Yeah. They work in a pair, man. They work well together.
You have to do it. And Sage, I guess, learning the hard way, but that stuff happens, especially in such an important match like this. In such a wonky start, right? Where he's building pylons across the map, so he's not necessarily worried about
He doesn't need food.
building additional pylons.
Or the
And he built a pylon in his opponent's main. So maybe I move. You know what? He's building all these pylons inside his main. He's not going to reinforce his wall with more than one. I'm not saying that's what he relied on, but
yeah. What happens is when you scout a cheese coming, you typically make a checklist, and it's the same with all the races. Like okay, like for Protoss, it's going to be make sure I keep building sentries and chrono boost those out. Make sure I chrono boost my Void Ray out. Make sure I have enough cannons. And we saw he added 2-3 more cannons. And then that fourth step that a lot of people forget about, and myself included, because normally it's something else to worry about. Make sure you have enough pylons to support everything as well. Yeah. And that fourth step, he just forgot.
Sage, he knew it was coming too. Like he knew that push was coming, but unable to hold. And Vibe takes game number 1 in this best of 3. Guys, you're watching the World Championship series, of course, brought to you by Blizzard and MLG. And we'll be back with more StarCraft 2 in just a bit.